My YouTube channel has gained a lot of subscribers since anyone has seen Tommy's S-10. So I'm sure there's a lot of you that don't have any idea what I'm talking about. Well, before Tommy raced the Falcon, he had a beautiful, beautiful blue 93 S-10 that's been in chassis prison, and my blood was boiling Saturday as I'm hauling this thing home in salt brine. This truck is way too nice to be dragging it up the road in snow and salt. The truck was absolutely gorgeous when we dropped it off, and it still is. We dropped it off a complete truck and picked it up in pieces. It absolutely breaks my heart to see it this way. But it is what it is. We had to get it home because obviously it wasn't going to get finished where it was, despite people's best intentions. So Kenny and I went down to Zanesville, picked this thing up, and brought it home. We unhooked Billy's trailer from my dually and then backed the dually up to the shop door so that we could unload all the extra parts that were attached to the truck when we dropped it off, like the bumper, the complete dash, the steering column. And I'm going to tell you right now, if it wasn't for Kenny, I would have never got that truck home. Now, if you all have ever tried to push a car or a truck that has one flat tire and no steering column, you'll understand what a terrible pain in the ass this was. I thought I was going to die of a heart attack. Kenny helped me put all the parts to it up over top the mezzanine, and then we headed down to Harbor Freight. We needed to pick up some wheel dollies to set the truck on so that we could slide the truck around in the shop and put it against the back wall and keep it out of the way while we're storing it. And Kenny knows where everything is in Harbor Freight. I think he knows that store better than the employees do. Anyway, we brought this stuff home, and I backed Vicky's 64 C10 out of the shop. Don't get too excited about the smoke because it's running on a 2-gallon gas can of 2-cycle oil underneath the hood. That's why it's smoking. But anyway, I backed her truck out of the shop, and we rolled Tommy's S-10 in. It's entirely too cold outside right now to give it a bath. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure what to do about all the dust and the dirt on top of it. I figured maybe the best thing to do is take it to car wash and blow it off. But this time of year in January, it's just too cold to do it. This truck was really something when we first built it. Tommy actually drove this truck to high school. But when we first converted it from a 2.8 V6 to a small block Chevy on nitrous, it had no cage, no anti-roll bar, no X-brace in the frame, and it was a complete handful to try and drive. But Tommy learned quick. We traveled all over with it, down into Tennessee, up into Michigan, and the truck always did really well, but to be honest, we never had the thing really sorted out very well. It never had really good shocks on it. And by the time that we had shocks to put on it, it was just about time to make the switch from nitrous to turbo. It was a 415 cubic inch small block Chevy with 2 kits of nitrous on it. The truck didn't have any cage in it. It still had its original stock bucket seats and a console, but it had plenty of power. I think the truck went as fast as low 560s and was fully capable of going 540s with good shocks. But Tommy managed to get paid with it on the street and on the track. Hopefully now that the truck's home, Tommy, Billy, and I can get back on it eventually and start making some progress on it. And hopefully get the thing cleaned up. Kenny helped me put the wheel casters up underneath of it, and then we went ahead and shoved it back into the back of the shop to keep it out of the way until we get time to work on it again. Again, if it wasn't for Kenny, I don't know what I'd do. Kenny is such a huge help around here. I can't even put it into words how much that guy means to me and our entire family. Once we got the S-10 put away, I brought the dually inside, and my headlights showed up for the dually. So Kenny pulled the grill out of it and started putting the headlights in for me. Really helped out the front of the truck. Now maybe I get to see where I'm going at night. Sunday morning, Vicky got up, and bless her heart, she made me breakfast. Scrambled eggs, bacon, and sausage. She's a good woman. Now they're calling for a good bit of snow tonight and into Monday morning. So after I got done eating breakfast, I went out and fired up the John Deere and figured it'd be a good idea to switch out my loader bucket from my standard 5-foot bucket to my big 8-foot bucket that I use to push snow with. I'd rather do it now than after the snow's already here and end up traipsing around out there getting my feet wet. So I set the little bucket off up underneath the front of the race car trailer and swapped it out for my 8-footer. I made a few little repairs to the loader bucket, made sure everything was ready to go. Just about the time I got a call from my brother, 911. He's got a broke down Suburban, fuel pumps out of it. Needed it hauled home. So I called my buddy, Death Row Tow, Mr. Brian Webster, to the rescue. Brian went down to Newark, loaded up my brother's Suburban and brought it out and dropped it off out back under the wise supervision of Miss Scrappy and June Pup. Tonight after dinner, Vicky went in the living room and started tearing that Christmas tree down. She hates dealing with that Christmas tree, and boy was she grouchy as hell. So I figured that's a good opportunity for me to skin out to the garage and do a little work out here. All right, welcome back, everybody. So it's snowing, and you know what that means if you've watched my channel for any amount of time. In the wintertime when it snows out, I like to get my remote control monster trucks out and run them in the snow a little bit because they're all kind of collector's items now. The ones that I like, they don't make them anymore, and I don't like to get them dirty. But in the wintertime, I could take them out and run them through the snow, and they don't get dirty. They don't get scratched up. You know, the snow's real soft on the skid plates underneath them and stuff. So, and the dogs enjoy chasing the daggone things around. They need the exercise anyway. So, and I probably do too. So I've got this collection of these remote control monster trucks. I've got, I don't know how many of them. I got a bunch of them, but they're mostly team associated monster GTs. That's my favorite ones. And I've got a handful of really nice original ones that are stock. And then I've got a handful of them like the one behind me that's not stock. And I use 10 scale crawler bodies, electric crawlers. It's a thing. They're real slow. They're kind of boring. And I don't really care for the crawler thing, but the bodies are just beautiful. They're very, very highly detailed. They've got light kits for them and everything. They're very scaled. And it just so happens that the 10 scale electric crawler bodies look really good mounted on my nitro-powered monster trucks. So I tend to buy up crawler bodies and mount crawler bodies on these monster trucks and lift them up in the air and put great big tires on them. And I take them out and run them in the snow in the wintertime. That's my thing. Hopefully, you know, one of these days when I end up with grandkids, if that ever happens. But if I end up with grandkids, I kind of wanted to have a few of them here that run, and then every year at Christmas, get them all down and have the grandkids help me get them running. And that's the idea. I don't know if that'll ever happen or not, but we'll see. But anyway, so we got Tommy's truck back. You can see it back there behind me. And I'm very happy to have that home. And The kids actually went street racing this weekend down south, and just got word that Tommy and Allison are flying home tomorrow, and Billy's still down there. So Billy's going to hang out down there for a few days, and Tommy and Allison need to come home and do shipping and get a video edited and get it up. So they're flying home tomorrow. So Tommy will be here tomorrow. Kenny will be here tomorrow. We've got some work to do here in the shop. My brother, God bless him, came today and picked up the fuel tank to the 64 C10. And he took it home to start boiling the tank out and getting it cleaned out. He's got some stuff that I bought from Mark down at A1 to clean the tank out and seal the tank. And we're going to try and save the stock original fuel tank. I don't think it's that bad a shape. It's just got a bunch of rust particles from the pickup tube and the sending unit deteriorated inside the tank and just kind of fell apart. And I think that's the vast majority of what's laying in that tank. So Jeremy's going to try and get that all cleaned out for me, and we're going to try and seal that tank and get it put back in the truck. And then I won't have to worry about running off my 2-cycle gas can in there. I figure somebody's going to say, oh God, it's smoking real bad. I know. It's got 2-cycle oil for my 5th scale stadium truck in it. That's why it's smoking. But anyway, we got the seat out of it, and we're going to try and take that this week and drop it off to get the seat reupholstered. So hopefully by the time we get the seat reupholstered and get the gas tank back in this thing, the weather will clear up a little bit, and we can put this thing back together and maybe take it up the road and see how it drives. Vicky's definitely got her heart set on that 350 in here. She's not letting up on that. So I got to come up with some V8 motor mounts for it because the engine mounts are different, 6-cylinder to V8. And I hope that the clutch cross shaft will work. I'm a little bit concerned about that. The 6-cylinder has this big bracket that bolts onto the side of the block and mounts the cross shaft to the engine. And my brother seems to think that the cross shaft is the same. It's just the ball ends up going right into the side of the block on a V8. So I hope that's the case. If anybody out there knows whether I'll need to get a different cross shaft to switch the V8 into this truck from a 6-cylinder, let me know in the comments. I'd appreciate it. I'm hoping that the cross shaft is going to be okay. Also, I've got a new set of wheels coming in at Jegs. Uncle Terry has got me some wheels coming in. Here's the situation. I love the stock wheels with the stock hubcaps. I love them. However, the wheels need to be repainted, and there's no guarantee the wheels, once I repaint them, are going to match the patina of the truck. The other thing is the hubcaps are just beat to heck, and I don't want to spend, they want $400 and some for a brand new set of reproduction chrome hubcaps. And for $400, I can buy a complete brand new set of wheels with brand new hubcaps. So the new wheels are basically just a chrome reverse wheel with a baby moon hubcap. And I'm going to put these brand new tires on these brand new wheels that I've got coming in. I'll save these wheels and keep them up over top the garage. I love them, but I just can't see spending that kind of money on reproduction chrome hubcaps and have to repaint the wheels and try to match the patina on the truck. Also, I've got the guy coming this week. I hope, I need to message him again, but I've got a guy coming this week to look at the truck, to letter it. I'm really excited about that, to see what he has to say about that. I've got some ideas for what I want to put on the sides of the truck. And I think we're going to go ahead and plan on repainting the top of the cab, because someone has shot some green on this thing to preserve it. And they didn't exactly mask the top of the truck at all. And we need to put a windshield in it. And the windshield area of the cab has some rust that I want to deal with while we've got the windshield out. I did call my windshield guy, but I haven't heard back from him. I need to call him again. But I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and get this windshield pulled out of the cab. And my brother wants to come down and help me weld some patches in if it needs anything. But weld some patches in and get this top of this cab taken care of. We'll sand the top of the cab down and just repaint the top of the cab an off-white, like an eggshell white. But I think that's the best thing to do because the paint's awfully thin on the cab, and since it hasn't been masked off very well with the last time somebody touched up the paint on it, I think it's probably best just to go ahead and redo the top. So that's the plan there. So that's just about going to do it for tonight, guys. It's getting late and I need to get the trash out to the road. The dogs are itching to go out and help me. I'll take the trash out with a loader on the tractor so I don't have to drag them through the snow. So they're over here whining and crying at the door, ready to go help me with that. So I'm gonna go get that done, and we'll probably see everybody again tomorrow. Like I said, Tommy and Allison are flying home tomorrow. I'm gonna go pick them up at Port Columbus, and we'll see what kind of shenanigans they got into down south. It sounds to me like they've had a pretty wild time. So we'll see you all tomorrow. Good night, guys.
Dinner time. Guess what? Remember how I said I was missing our favorite pizza mix and you couldn't find them in the store anymore?
Yeah.
Somebody told me to check Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Chef Boyardee with pepperoni in the sauce. I bought a case.